Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Tonight, Florida is weathering a direct strike from Hurricane Irma. Around 3 million homes and businesses in that state are without power, but the danger is far from over. The storm was nearly 400 miles wide when it reached the Florida Keys this morning, and it is expected to slowly crawl up the state's west coast. There's been major street flooding in many cities as homes with roof damage and downed power lines and standing water have also been reported. And while many have evacuated, the safety of those that stayed behind is now on the minds of millions around the country. Reporter Don Champion is in Tampa with this story.
Winds over 100 miles per hour are ripping through Florida. Hurricane Irma is also bringing sheets of rain, tornadoes, and a dangerous storm surge.
The storm surge will rush in and it could kill you.
Irma was a Category 4 storm when it reached the Florida Keys on Sunday morning. It weakened as it made a second landfall at Marco Island in the afternoon, but officials say it remains an extremely powerful and life-threatening storm.
It's a mandatory evacuation. It's not optional. As I've said, though, we are not going around arresting people, and we're not going door to door. If you want to make a bad decision that puts your safety at risk and potentially puts you at peril, then you're going to make that choice.
The center of the storm is creeping north along Florida's west coast. Miami was spared a direct hit, but the city was still pounded by rain and a 5-foot storm surge. Damage is widespread, including a pair of construction cranes that collapsed in the wind. Tampa is feeling the effects of Irma's powerful winds, rain, and storm surge. The city is vulnerable to flooding, and people were told to seek higher ground.
If you haven't gone to a shelter, the time to do so is now.
Millions of Floridians are without power and millions more could lose it. Residents are being warned that it may take weeks before electricity is restored.
Irma is expected to remain at hurricane force into Monday. A number of emergency responders from our area are helping people in the face of Hurricane Irma. 5 ambulance vehicles from Ringdale EMS out of Fergus Falls have been in Tampa, Florida since Thursday. The crews have been working with officials in Florida to help people evacuate from their homes and get them to safety. Bjorn Ringdale says they are holding in place until the storm passes. Afterward, they will once again go out and provide assistance where they can. 13 people from Fergus Falls and Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, along with Jamestown and Lisbon, North Dakota, made the trek down to help people dealing with this natural disaster. And if you'd like to help people dealing with Hurricane Irma, there is a link attached to the story over on our website, valleynewslive.com. And while many have left Florida with the help of rescue officials, some are planning to brave the danger ahead into the affected area to help with disaster relief efforts, including one Fargo man who hopes to provide comfort for those impacted by the devastating storm. Valley News News' Molly Casey has our story.
It's hard to really understand what these folks are going through.
Mike Clevenger has volunteered locally for the Red Cross for years, but now he's taking his talents to South Florida.
I was a medic in the Air Force, and when I served in Vietnam, and I was an EMT.
Clevenger was originally assigned to help with disaster relief in Texas, but when Irma became a major threat, the Red Cross booked him a one-way ticket to the Sunshine State.
Nobody knows for sure when I'll be coming back. The estimated time of deployment is 2 weeks.
The Red Cross gave Clevenger this list of items to bring along. Things like gloves, rain gear, and water bottles, because there is no guarantee those items will be available when he gets to Florida. But Clevenger says he's not worried about his comfort or safety.
I'm more concerned about the well-being of those people that's being affected, especially the elderly and some of the vets and that type of a thing.
He is worried about his flight on Monday morning being canceled or delayed. But he says even that won't stop him from getting to Florida and helping out.
I'm actually looking forward to getting down there and lending a hand.
From Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Clevenger says there are many opportunities to volunteer with the Red Cross in the Fargo-Moorhead area and encourages others to sign up as disaster relief volunteers. And while people are now turning their attention to Florida, a group of people in Park Rapids, Minnesota have their eyes set on Texas. We told you about them last week. 218 to Texas is raising money so they can send water down to Victoria, Texas, one of the hardest hit areas by Hurricane Harvey. The group met today to talk about what their goals are and how to accomplish them. And their goal is to get 33,000 bottles of water to Victoria, Texas, a city that's still recovering.
We're just everyday, ordinary Americans who want to do something. You know, there's the Red Cross, and there's FEMA, and then there's the government, and you don't want to get in the way of all those honorable intents. But there's got to be more that we can do. And you sit up here so comfortable when everyone else is suffering. We're like, let's do something. We're going to do something. We're going to send water. That's not a lot, but it's something.
218 to Texas is working with a group called Convoy of Hope. That group is responding to several areas impacted by the hurricanes. If you want to help out 218 to Texas, you can find a link to their information in this story over on valleynewslive.com. A head-on crash due to a drunk driver going the wrong way on the interstate sent 2 people to the hospital. 67-year-old Gerald Hill from Fargo was arrested for DUI and will also face a felony reckless endangerment charge. The crash happened on I-29 just 2 miles south of Buxton yesterday afternoon. Hill was driving south on I-29 when he crossed the median and ran into a vehicle heading north. Hill and the 29-year-old female driver of the other vehicle were both taken to All True Hospital in Grand Forks to be treated for their injuries. A woman is dead after a vehicle crashed into the ATV she was on in Rowlett County, North Dakota. It happened Saturday night near a ditch on County Road 43 near St. John. Authorities say 18-year-old Tatum Eller of St. John and an 18-year-old man were riding an ATV that was hooked to be towed by another ATV driven by another person. Now, before they could take off, a vehicle driven by 56-year-old Kevin Burrott of Minot crashed into both ATVs. Eller died where the crash happened, and the other men on the ATVs, as well as Burrott and a female passenger in his vehicle, are expected to be okay. An apartment complex was damaged after a fire broke out on the deck of one of the units. Fire crews got the call around 5 today at a building located in the 4900 block of 47th Street South in Fargo. A number of people had to leave the complex for a time as firefighters put out the blaze. Officials say most of the damage was on the outside of the building, and it is initially estimated to cost around $2,000. Now, thankfully, no injuries were reported, and they're still investigating the cause. Firefighters also dealt with the blaze believed to have started on the deck of a home early Sunday morning. Fire crews responded to 4679 San Juan Drive South in Fargo. A neighbor and one of the people inside the house tried to extinguish the fire before responders got on scene. When crews arrived, the deck was fully engulfed in flames and the fire was growing to the outside of the home. Investigators say a propane gas grill was involved in the fire and was releasing propane. Firefighters were able to quickly put out that fire, and everyone inside the home was able to make it out, and no injuries were reported.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
And let's take a look at that Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam network shot in Fargo. We saw clear skies as we made our way through the day. We had a southerly wind along with that sunshine. It made us warmer than yesterday, as most of us saw temperatures mainly into the 80s. The exception being Lakes Country. They were close to the 80-degree mark. Fargo saw a high of 86 degrees, highs into the low to mid-80s in Valley City, Jamestown, and Devil's Lake out toward Thief River Falls, a high of 83 degrees. We are still pretty warm for 10 o'clock at night, the second week of September. 74 degrees in Fargo, 75 at Crookston, near 70 Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls, and lower 70s as you make your way from the Devil's Lake Basin down toward Valley City. The reason for that is we have some clouds moving in, and we had a really strong southerly wind. We have wind speeds 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, definitely keeping temperatures up. Now we are seeing clear skies into northwestern Minnesota, but more clouds as you make your way from the Northern Valley into the Devil's Lake Basin. Some clouds south of Jamestown into the Wahpeton-Breckenridge area. Everybody else seeing partly cloudy skies, and most of us are staying dry. We have that high well off to our east and that southerly flow. A couple of disturbances, one toward Minneapolis, one stretching from Denver into western Nebraska, sparking off just some showers. No severe weather with this whatsoever, and we do have a dry cold front that is approaching. Now that's just going to flip the wind around to more of a northerly direction. We're still going to see plenty of sunshine as we go through the day tomorrow. There's your very mild temperatures tonight and a very strong southerly wind. The arrow will flip around to the north as that front makes its way through, and as that front does, this is 7 a.m., we're going to lose the clouds, get back to more sunshine, and temperatures are going to range from the upper 70s in the Lakes Country to the mid 80s into the Southern Valley. And still, we will be mild, temperatures falling back into the 60s 60s, but mainly clear through the 10 p.m. hour on your Monday. There's your complete sunshine. Temperatures getting into the mid-80s, but with that northerly wind as we go through the day tomorrow in the Fargo area. Elsewhere, we are still going to be cooler, mid to upper 70s into Lakes Country, upper 70s out toward Jamestown, Valley City, and Devil's Lake, and upper 70s out toward the Thief River Falls area. And then as we go through the day on Tuesday, that southerly wind is back, and we're going to keep windy conditions. Temperatures will definitely rise as we go through the day on Tuesday, with some of us, especially into the Southern Valley, close to that 90-degree mark. Let's take a look at the photo of the day. It's called In the Sticks in Euclid, Minnesota. Thank you to Jamie for this one. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. And as we go through the day on Tuesday, high of 90, 88 on Wednesday, increase in clouds, 80 on Thursday. We have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms lasting through the day on Friday and Saturday. We could get a lot of rain from this system, but that's going to cool us down. Breezy northerly winds, temperatures back into the mid-60s for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday still a slight chance of some showers. Here's a look at Hurricane Irma, the latest update now. 100 miles per hour. It is approaching Tampa. As you can see, the bands of rain are now extending across the state of Florida. The heaviest rain between Tampa and Jacksonville, and the strongest wind between Tampa and Jacksonville. We've also seen some tornado warnings just south of Jacksonville as it makes land. It will track into the Midwest and then off the East Coast, but definitely we will keep you updated as we go along.
Thanks so much, Justin. And some good news out of North Dakota. Miss North Dakota is now Miss America. Kara Mund from Bismarck beat out Miss Missouri to earn the title of Miss America 2018. We're very excited for her, and she's probably going to be on North Dakota today, so that just came in about 10 minutes ago. Anyway, congrats, Miss America. So, coming up next, how much would you pay for this car? Later on Valley News Live 10 at 10, find out how much cash this Ferrari is going for. But first, a story about a missing California woman who has family in North Dakota.